Alrighty, welcome back to Jacob V Weekly. We're back. It's February, y'all, and almost done with that one. So got to try to crank out a couple more of these. You know what I'm saying? We want to start, as we do every episode, by inviting you to look into Caddyshack of New Hamel, Illinois. That is a non-profit cat rescue just outside of the St. Louis area, over in what we call Edwardsville. It's the only thing about Illinois I really like at all. It's because they save cats. I was thinking about this the other day. People are the problem. And when people are the problem, people do things like they don't spay or neuter their pets. And their pets have too many babies. They then don't have homes. And then a lovely family has to come in and dedicate their life to saving cats, which they've done over 1,000-something times. So if you got an extra $5, $10, $15, $20, $55 in your pocket, it goes directly to feeding, treating, saving, and adopting out rescued cats. We're planning some fundraising. I'm on the board of directors with them, so stay tuned about that. We'll get down to it. I'm in a band called No Antics. We're playing this coming Saturday at the Platypus. I'm in a band called Blinded by Stereo. We're playing this coming Friday, I believe, at the Heavy Anchor. I just played Saturday night at Sky Music Lounge out there in Baldwin for the Gentiles with Flyover State. That's a Tom Petty tribute band. We do some like Americana kind of 70s and 80s kind of Americana stuff. So it was fun. It was a good time. I think I made about $1 for every minute it took me to drive there. So, praise God.
Are we supposed to be coming to your show at Platypus on Saturday?
Platypus is the one you should come to.
You said it was at 10 o'clock, right?
I probably won't play till 10. Well, no, that's because dinner. Ellie's going to be in town.
I know. That's why I'm saying, are we supposed to come to that as a group?
I would not expect them to do that. Ellie won't want to do that.
Well, we'll see.
Ellie doesn't like shows.
We'll see.
Ellie used to have
Look,
to babysit.
I'm in a dark place. I could probably get her to do whatever I need her to right now.
Wow.
I'm just saying. She said she would fly in immediately if I needed her to.
Oh, well, she didn't say that to me.
Well.
What if I need something?
I'm here.
I appreciate you. Maybe that's what she thought. She said Emma's. That's why you've been around so much. Ellie's like, I'm not coming all the way to town just to see his crazy ass. Emma is here. You've met Emma before. Emma's been on the show. She's a big fan of the show.
Yeah.
And she made me this ashtray.
I'm a big fan of you.
Oh,
gross.
It's an egg and bacon, and I can burn incense, and I can put my weed in here.
Yeah.
I really cherish this in a way that I'm afraid to break it.
Please don't. It took me a long time to make that.
You made it.
Not really.
Well,
just in bulk. I've just been making stuff, you know.
You make pottery at home?
Yeah.
How?
Air dry clay.
Really?
I just get stoned and I make stuff.
So you don't have a big wheel?
No.
This
is
air dry clay here.
Yeah.
And then what do you do with it?
I painted it and then I put an acrylic glaze over the top.
An acrylic glaze, and you don't have to kiln it.
No. I mean, you can't like put water in it.
Why not?
Because then it'll dissolve the clay. That's how you break it down again.
So
like I had a bunch of projects that like I didn't like or they cracked or something, and then I just threw them back in the jar and put water in, and now I have brand new clay.
Really? That's an amazing thing. I wish that would be a good sponsor for this show.
Well, you know.
Who makes it?
Crayola.
Really? That's a little. that's kind of highbrow for me.
Yeah.
That's a little highfalutin for this.
I don't know if they want anything to do with this podcast.
Hey guys at Crayola, Jacob V here. I'm still waiting on that Lion's Choice money.
I was just talking about that the other night with somebody I was texting, and I never want Taco Bell, ever. I didn't grow up eating Taco Bell. I never liked it in high school, but I like crave it maybe once a year. I was craving it super bad on Saturday night. And this guy was like, I usually like Lion's Choice.
Can I stop you for a minute? This is exactly how Clay started the show last week.
Is it?
Clay started the show.
I just finished that episode today, so maybe it's in my brain.
Something about I wanted to eat something, and he said, you know what you got to get is Taco Bell. I said, what?
Yeah.
Here's my problem is I can get Taco Bell anytime I want because I'm always driving past one that I know I can get through in a reasonable amount of time. So if I even think for a minute that I want Taco Bell, I can have Taco Bell. So I never, ever crave Taco Bell because
It's just there.
I drive past the Taco Bell in Kirkwood almost every day. I drive past the Taco Bell in Shrewsbury almost every day. I drive past the Taco Bell on Hampton almost every day.
Where's? Oh yeah. Okay.
And I'm right
Okay.
here by the Taco Bell on Kings Highway.
Why are you doxing yourself?
Go to the Taco Bell on Kings Highway and just do concentric circles until you find my house. I dare you. Just go out in a perimeter until you find my house, you fucking lurkers.
I'm just saying, you're bad with internet security.
That's what my wife keeps telling me. What do I do about that?
It's because I told her that because I saw your address in a music video.
God
on
damn it. I knew
YouTube.
she didn't notice. I knew somebody else noticed.
Yeah, of course I noticed. I'm all about security.
Well, I don't ever want to hear you ask me for my address again.
It's saved in my phone. I don't.
That's
need
another
to.
thing we should mention. I love making music videos. And I've been making the music videos for the No Antics. And I just wish I could just make music videos full time. So if you want a music video made, I could do it for less than you think. Hit me up. I'll
We
make
still have
Molly
to
edit
make-
it for 20%.
We have to make our music video
Well, that's what I'm saying.
for
So
TTP. You know.
that would be a good, what's the word? That would be a good spec project.
Sure.
Meaning we make the music video and then that would be a good for instance.
But like, is that kind of music coming back, like the Kesha vibe?
I think it should.
I mean, we're getting close fashion-wise. I feel like to that era of the 2000s. Like, I'm waiting for the
My
neon
favorite shit
animal
is
print.
the shit you've been sharing me with the girls from the early 2000s with like the spray tan and like the.
No, that wasn't me. I think I sent maybe one.
But you know which one I'm
All of
talking
us
about.
collectively, yeah, because it was like
I've been getting a
we
lot of
wore this
those.
at Club Europe, and I was like, no, I literally had business casual chic to the club.
Business casual chic. We have a phone number for the show, 314-626-4208, which means if you're watching live, you can always drop us a message to chime in. Use complete sentences. Otherwise, I'm not going to remember what the fuck you're talking about. That's on the screen here. I also want to mention Easy Livin' is my quarantine anthem, and it's streaming on all platforms. Easy space LVN. It's my main solo thing to plug right now. But also, Blinded by Stereo has a record out. We're working on a second one. No Antics is working on their first full-length LP. Both those bands are playing this weekend, so hit us up. It's about to be March. Emma, you're kind of my astrological consultant.
Yeah.
And so there's a phenomenon that we've talked about on the show that I want to ask you about, and I also want to know what's happening currently.
Okay.
So
I knew you were gonna ask this. I'm so mad I didn't. I thought about preparing something earlier, but I was like, no.
Well, no. But we can figure it out live. That's kind of the theme of the show.
Okay.
I forgot we were doing this until I was about to clock out at work. Also, shout out to the Copper Kettle Power Bark. Not a sponsor, but this is delicious, and I'm going to start eating it now. This is
that
good
the
because
chocolate
it's like a
thing with the
fudgy,
nuts?
dark chocolate thing, but it's also it feels healthy
cherries?
because it's got cranberries and shit. Oh,
I had 2 of those. Yeah.
you got 2 of these
Yeah.
out of my bag?
Yeah.
God damn!
Sure did. So right now I believe all planets are direct, which hasn't happened in a while. We've had a lot of Mercury retrogrades, a lot of just retrogrades in general.
Yeah, I always wonder about that.
Let's see.
But like, why?
What do you mean why are all planets direct right now? That's just how they're orbiting.
Okay, but what does that mean?
That means they're all going the same direction.
But
Nobody's going backwards.
How does that affect? Oh, I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like retrograde is when like our planet, the planet's moving away from Earth, and it's aligned because it's not all just like a straight circle. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Anyway, and so from what I heard, because I follow Astro Lori on TikTok. Shout out to Astro Lori because she's the bomb, and I always send you guys the monthly updates when I get them. She said in her yearly predictions that this year was going to be split up into 3 parts. So January to March was going to be 1 part, which it's been a fucking part.
It's been a part.
It's been a part.
I need a different part to start.
I'm really glad that I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like an it is what it is kind of person. Like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, whatever, man. I mean, for me personally, my sun sign's in Gemini, and the tarot reading that I saw for a yearly was saying that I needed to be like a leaf in the wind, like go with the flow. And
I've
I was
always
like,
said that about
doesn't
you.
align with a lot of my other personality traits, but I'll try. So it's been brutal. But anyway, and then March, I think March until September is going to be like pretty fast movement. Things are going to start going really well, you know, for people who are actually like working on being decent human beings.
Well, thank God.
A lot of karmic cycles are ending. For me, for sure, personally, that's true. Man, that sucks. You know what I mean? But
So, what can I ask you about a specific astrological phenomenon that I've just Here's the thing: is I reverse engineer a lot of this stuff,
okay.
which means that if I am experiencing something that seems like there is a greater string of influence in initiating those events,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That it must be related to an astrological phenomenon.
Most likely, yeah.
Now, for example, sometimes I'll wake up and, like, basically every bipolar narcissist that I can think of has decided to text me that day.
Yeah, you were saying that on like what, last week or the week before?
So, yeah, that we've talked about this a couple of times because it happens.
I'm caught up now. Aren't
Okay.
you so proud of me?
I'm proud of you.
I
I'm
binged
thankful.
a whole year's worth of episodes of this podcast.
That means this is the perfect time for you to be here.
I know.
So what I want to know is what might cause that.
I mean, generally speaking, probably a full moon. Like, the moon controls water. We're made up of water. It only makes sense. You can ask anybody in any kind of service industry or gas station clerks. The one by my place, one night I said something and I was like, "Oh, did you see the moon?" And he was like, "No, why?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a full moon and a like eclipse or something."
And he said,
was
"That's it,
like-
we're closed."
He was like, "Yeah, great." And I was like,
Fucking
"Oh, yeah,
great.
sorry." And I was like, "But no, I'm a Gemini, so blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "Oh, me too." And we bonded.
Prince was a Gemini.
Was he? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean a full moon normally, like hospitals too. Crazy cops always say that too. Like
Yeah.
that's just normally what it is.
I like that that season of Reno 911. They said people try to fuck us up on Halloween.
I started watching that from the beginning and I like stopped at some point. I just didn't go back to it. But
Well,
I love that show.
there was some later stuff that was really good, but there's definitely a mid hump. They moved networks twice in the latter half of that show.
Yeah.
And it kind of fucked up their groove. And then they were going to do Tubi,
Well,
and
they
then
did
Tubi went
movies.
bankrupt. They did 2 movies.
And that's kind of when it like started going downhill because they had to be a little bit more mainstream.
You
But they
kinda jumped the
also would,
shark.
like back in the day when that show premiered, they would like drop the N-word on live TV without being bleeped out. Hand to God.
So I'm a Capricorn. Am I going to be okay?
Don't know. I don't think so. I don't think any of us are going to be okay.
It,
you know?
it doesn't feel like it.
I mean,
Things are bad.
I haven't paid attention to Capricorn stuff. Thanks. That's a rubbing salt in the wound. But
I'm a Capricorn. I'm talking about me. I can't remember who all of you
I don't
people
remember.
are.
You have to send me your birth information and I can pull it up. Do that right now. I'll pull up your birth chart. We'll talk about it.
What do you need to know?
Text me your
You don't want me
date.
to dox myself? Okay.
No, because you can actually find information out about anyway.
Yeah,
Your
they could
birthday.
they could pick up my prescriptions from Walgreens.
Your day, month, year, what time you were born, and where specifically. So like St. Louis, Missouri, or like if you knew like DePere or whatever.
It was Bridgeton.
Bridgeton?
I was born at DePaul Hospital. That's why I'm all fucked up.
Yikes.
It was vaguely that time of day. Do you need to know what day of the week that was? Do I need to look that up?
No,
And
it'll tell me.
You work on that for a minute.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Have you been following while I'm doing this because I can multitask?
I believe it.
Have you been watching or know anything about the Murdoch trials going on right now?
Who?
See?
Here, I'll look that up.
See?
See?
So it's this lawyer
I
and the
already
whole
don't like 'em.
family. They're in the Low Country in South Carolina. Which here's the thing: I'm pretty good at picking up on Southern accents. My family's from the South, so I'm pretty good at picking up the dialect of different areas. But the Low Country South Carolina accent sounds very similar to a Louisiana accent, and I'm
It's a
wondering
double
if that's just
murder
like a
trial?
swamp language. Yes, but so he is on trial for murdering his wife and son. The son
I have
that
heard
he
about
murdered.
this. I haven't been following it.
Ugh, there's an HBO documentary.
2 weeks of testimony.
It's very good. The HBO documentary is good to watch first. It's not as updated. The Netflix documentary just came out this past week. It is fantastic. But the son that was murdered, he killed somebody when he was drunk driving a boat. And then the other son, Buster.
There's another son?
Yes.
Can you
and they
imagine?
all look just as bad.
Can you
they
imagine?
all look inbred. He allegedly was in a relationship with a man, and that man was found dead in the middle of the road from injuries not sustained from falling out of a car or being hit by a car. And so all of these, and like the housekeeper died on their property.
Jesus.
There's a bunch of murders tied to this family, and he also was embezzling like millions of dollars to pay for his oxy habit.
Well, that's how that starts.
It's fucking wild.
That's how that's. You know who? I just saw a clip. Apparently, who
14?
from Drake and Josh? Josh.
Yeah.
What was his last name?
Bell? No, that's Drake's last name.
Well, that's the thing. So, but the pudgier,
On the dot for your birth time?
it is right around there.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
because it differs every 10 minutes.
Nobody really knows the exact. Oh, you know
on
what?
your birth certificate.
Oh, I have that. I just sent that to my dear sweet wife. That's another funny thing we got to talk
I was
about.
born at 12:35 p.m. on a Friday.
The exact time is on here?
Yeah.
Oh my God, my parents are such hoosiers. They didn't file this until February 13th.
Don't speak about your mother like that.
Well, it's like my birthday is. It's just like they didn't leave themselves much time.
Oh my God, Bridgeton.
I don't see a time on here. I got date. I got county.
You really don't know what time you were born?
I'm pretty sure my mom doesn't remember the exact time. She always says it was like 3 p.m.
Okay, well, we'll go with 3.
Do you want to call her?
Yes, call your mother.
Let's FaceTime her right now. She's gonna be so mad.
I didn't do it. This is his idea.
I can't believe we don't know, and we need this information. This is like that
Could
meme.
just text me.
Hey, do you know what time of day I was born?
Early morning, honey.
Early morning?
Jake, I gotta get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Oh,
Jacob.
do you know was it like 7 o'clock?
Probably like 7:30.
Oh, I love you so much. Be safe. 7:30 in the morning. I'm glad I called.
7:30 in the morning and 3 p.m. are not the same at all.
It must
my
be Clay.
God.
Clay must have been born at 3 p.m.
Whew. All right.
She's so upset. She was dead asleep.
I could tell. You're terrible.
She
'cause
only
I'm
answered because she
pissed.
thought I was dead. She said, honey,
I know.
I got to get up at 4 in the morning. That poor girl. She's a patron. That's what we didn't mention yet. The only way to support this show financially is patreon.com. Jacob V. My mom's on there.
My,
I officially need to get you a cough button.
oh my God.
You just did that right in the
I'm
microphone.
so sorry.
You know how disruptive that's
going
gonna
to
be in
houses
post?
in Capricorn. It's concerning.
I have so many what?
You have so many planets in Capricorn.
All my
Sun,
planets. This
your
explains
sun,
everything.
your moon, your Mercury, your Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and your North Node are all in Capricorn.
My North Node is in Capricorn.
This makes so much more sense about you. How have I never run your chart? I know you guys sent me all your information.
No, it's because I probably sent you the wrong time, dude.
I didn't.
I probably
look at
sent
it,
you
though.
Clay's birth time.
No, I didn't. I didn't look it up. I know Clay's chart. Clay and I are friends on CoStar because I also yelled at Clay to get his life together in your mother's pool one day and made him download CoStar and work on himself.
Was that it? He's been doing really good. It must be
I
you.
bullied him.
That's what it takes. That's what it takes.
Me and Rachel bullied your brother in your mom's pool. How you
That's
get his
why
life together.
some of my best friends. That's why we're not closer. Is because because I went crazy for a while. So now they come at me all soft. I'm like, you got to put me in my place.
I know.
Actually,
I know. I
the
haven't
real
been around
reason.
that often. And who are you now? You're turning into this weird Joe Rogan freak.
What?
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Don't you dare.
I
try to
don't
lie.
even like
You
him.
can lie to your wife. You cannot lie to me.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're talking about.
Get the fuck out of here.
I
You
am a.
don't listen to his show at all, ever.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say that.
It doesn't matter. You're consuming that kind of media. Ugh, it makes so much
Ooh.
sense. Anyway,
It's mostly old billionaires farting on each other, so I usually get bored of it. Like the Dave Chappelle episode was so boring. I was like, I'd rather listen to two Vietnam veterans fight over a tuna steak.
Who is that comedian with the mullet that always has like wild ass stories about his life? He's just telling stories about his life and it's funny.
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah, Joe Rogan was like Theo Vaughn and like some other guy. Like they have this style of comedy that like you can't even explain.
I'm like, that's not true.
That's called trauma. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like I can.
I don't.
I
There
can
was
just
also
talk like
there was a
that,
clip
too.
about him and Sebastian, but he mostly was talking about Theo.
Maybe.
But Sebastian
I don't know.
Maniscalco doesn't have trauma.
Joe Rogan sometimes pops up on my For You page TikTok. So
Yeah, that's
real
not your
quick,
fault.
not
That's
interested.
like if we had TikTok in the '90s, it'd be like Oprah would be in your For You page, but
yeah.
you didn't have to be watching Oprah.
No.
That's what's crazy is how
son
unoriginal
is in
and
the
dumb
12th
most people
house.
are. Is that they,
Interesting.
you know what? People should listen to this show over that one. This is a better show.
He sees so many possibilities that it can be overwhelming to choose.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Done.
Sun in your 12th house.
What is that? Oh, not my 12th house.
Well, I mean, each house rules something different. Like I don't even remember, but like your 12th house. No, your 12th house is your like psychic abilities, because I have No, that's Pluto. I don't know. I'm stoned.
Make sure you're talking into the mic.
What?
Make sure you're talking to the
Oh,
microphone.
sorry.
No,
I was
and you were
looking at
fine.
your chart.
But I just want to make sure you keep it in mind.
An unmistakably dreamy, inspired, and sensitive side to you.
That's the whole side.
A marked appreciation for music and the arts is present.
Duh.
Okay, that's interesting.
I would say
Just
exclusive
so much
obsession.
Capricorn,
but-
dude. That makes so much sense. I actually have a lot of Capricorn in my chart as well.
My friend Molly told me that Capricorns are obsessed with money.
Yeah,
But why don't I ever have any?
because you spend it.
Is
I
that-
mean, but you hustle though. That's the thing. Like, you're not without money. You're always making money. You're just
Yeah.
spending it as fast as you say.
I could be making a
that's
lot
not
more right
judgment.
now.
What are we saving for? You know.
Well, I used to save, and then I put it all in this house when I abandoned my career.
Lilith and Sagittarius.
Lilith and Sagittarius together?
In Sagittarius.
That's what I
he
said.
may have felt uncomfortable or even ashamed for his curiosity, questions, restlessness, and the need to challenge and question
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
life, facts, beliefs, or the need to get away, expand, and seek meaning.
Yes.
He may feel uncomfortable around people who are suppressing these Sagittarian traits, not quite trusting them. Learning to accept and even embrace these traits without apology can be empowering, can also help end a cycle of going to extremes with these traits. That sounds like solid life advice for you right now, as your best friend of almost 20 years.
So
Our
what-
anniversary is in August.
What should I do?
You got to learn to accept and embrace the traits. They're just who you are. Like, just accept who you are.
Other
Stop being a
people would
people
tell you I'm
pleaser.
doing too much of that.
I don't think so. You're accepting your present situation. That's not who you are.
Okay, that's good. That's good advice.
I give very good advice.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
I know. That's why we're friends for almost 20 years.
So, what about coming up? So, what does someone in my astrological position have to look forward to?
I don't know. Honestly, honest to God, I've been ignoring all Capricorn stuff, but I will keep an eye out and I will send you TikToks.
Okay, send
We
me
can
a
do
TikTok.
a check-in.
And
But generally speaking, I mean, I think that Gemini and Capricorn, because I have a lot of placements in Capricorn too, which is why I'm stubborn as shit and always right. I mean, again, like as long as you're doing the work and you're putting in the work and working on yourself and being a better person and doing the right things, you know, karmically speaking, good things are going to be coming. Again, it's just everybody in general is seeing a lot of end to karmic cycles. And this is all subject to your place and your growth and your healing as well. Like, I can't speak for you because I don't know where you're at in your healing and stuff. I mean, I know where I'm at, and that's the it is what it is phase.
a radical acceptance.
Radical self-acceptance, yes.
Okay,
That's
and
my
then so
big
what
thing.
are the things you're not radically accepting?
What do you mean? Like, what am I just not tolerating? in
Well,
my
okay,
life
so
anymore?
if your goal is to radically accept yourself more, there are things in your life that you're not applying that radical acceptance to.
I mean, definitely myself. Like, I've been really working on, one, choosing myself and choosing to love myself for my flaws, and while acknowledging those flaws and still being able to work on them, but acknowledging that I have them because I am human, right? Like, nobody's perfect.
Sure.
I'm crazy. I am cannot legally own a gun crazy.
I can get you one.
I mean, I could get one too, but I don't need that in my life.
A good
There's
strong,
a reason I
good,
don't have one.
A
you
good
know?
strong taser though could do you some good in the neighborhood
I
you
have
live in.
things to protect myself. I have security measures and things like that.
I have
But
non-lethal
no, I mean, like,
deterrents.
even with you guys, like, even with my friends, like, I feel like with COVID, I did a lot of, like, I mean, of course, I was by myself for most of COVID, like, lockdown, and I feel like I isolated a lot, and felt like I was in a position where, like, I couldn't trust who was genuinely my friend and who wasn't. And I mean, that needed to happen to get rid of some people in my life, right? Because, like, I can love you and let you go. And sometimes that's the best thing and the most loving thing you can do for somebody. Like, I have friends who I love dearly. They have my heart, but they're in a different space in their life, and I don't
Yeah,
need
that's
any
always
kind of
really hard.
disingenuine energy in my life. Like, I only want people who are honest to a fault. Like, again, like, I am honest to a fault. Like,
Yeah.
I'm crazy, and I know that about myself.
Yeah.
And I know I'm stubborn, and I know all these things that are positives, but they can also be negative in, you know, an unhealed state. But I mean, trying to just reach out to my friends more and trust and lean on the people that love me and that are in my life, because I know that everybody who is currently in my life deserves to be in my life and belongs in my life. It's not a lot, but it's enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people had to do that inventory since quarantine. Definitely during.
For sure.
And then you know, a lot of the relationships or habits that didn't need to resurface just didn't.
Yeah. Well, and
It's
I mean,
also
that's
hard to
also a
talk about
conscious
because I
choice.
didn't quit drinking until quarantine started,
Right.
and so I didn't start this show until then. And
Right.
so it's a weird. We don't have data from exactly what was important before then. It just feels like a totally different world.
Oh, it does.
Different
it's so-
lifetime.
It's really weird. It's weird to think about.
I had a career. I was drinking myself to death. I mean, things were good.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in the same spot, right? Because I feel like like the person I am today, whoever knew me yesterday, they don't know me anymore, because I'm trying to constantly change and constantly do better and be better, and not for anything other than just because, like, I just want to be a good person. I'm not doing it because I think that, oh, I'm gonna get praise. Like, no, like, I just like to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. There still was a lot of growth that happened, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But again, it was a lot of learning to be by myself and love myself, because I really didn't date for 2 years. I mean, I, like, dabbled here and there, but it was like I'd go on a date with somebody and it was either yes or no. And normally it was no after one date. I just
That
knew.
was the hardest thing. I was, you know, I mean, when I was single, which didn't happen a lot because I was a serial
Right.
monogamist. It was just like I don't remember playing any music in that time between my last relationship and when I ended up with Keenan. I mostly remember dating, and then what
Yeah.
that means is drinking too
No,
much.
I was gonna say, I don't remember you. We were mostly drinking. We weren't.
We were drinking. We were eating toasted raviolis, just the outside of it.
Shut up! Don't put me on blast like that.
I would never.
You just did.
So
I
feel
leave
like
a little of the meat inside.
yeah, just a little though.
It's, you know what? Don't come at me about my eating disorder stuff. Rude. I'm suing. I'm gonna own this podcast.
Oh, thank God, because that is a financial liability that I could offload. That's
Keenan
for
and I are
sure.
gonna start a podcast.
The
We're gonna talk
broadband.
shit.
I tell Keenan all the time.
Air
She would
signs
be
talking
so good.
shit.
She would be so good on a podcast. We could do a podcast about one of these shitty shows we love. If we did a podcast just about fucking Shaws of Sunset.
Oh my
Or
God.
Below Deck.
I'm telling you, I need to start, like, actually, like, making that list like I did in my notes when I watch
and
Housewives
you're fucking.
episodes. 'Cause they're
You're not in the
hilarious.
book club, but that book
No.
club they're in could be a podcast. I
No,
don't
we
know
have
why.
our own TV club.
Yeah, your TV club should be a podcast.
You're not in that group chat. I'm
It
sorry.
just doesn't make sense to leave the content on the table, especially because I could do all the work. You guys could just show up and talk about the shit. Hey, listen to me.
That's such a commitment, though.
Um,
It's been 2
how
years since I've been on the
perfect
show.
is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
I love it. I love it.
It's such a
Although I
good-
will say, Keenan and I were just saying that, like, at the end of this latest season, like, I don't feel. I feel like I felt like this because I'm a Housewives connoisseur. I have watched since day one. I am a Housewives super fan. I'm starting to branch out into the other countries that I can find on Peacock, I think.
Oh,
It's
really?
mostly Peacock and Hulu.
There's
yeah.
there's Real Housewives in
Yeah,
other
I started
countries?
Real Housewives of Durban in South Africa, and like it is
I would
wild.
I would watch the fuck out of that.
It
Did they
is
fight?
wild, and they like language switch. It's really cool, and it's a beautiful country, and all the women are so amazing because they're like real women too. You know, it's not like Beverly Hills where they're all on Ozempic and like eating 3 carbs.
You
a
know
day.
what? I think I could get me some Ozempic. I
Probably.
think my doctors would give it to me.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it's not like I'm in a
Oh,
VIP club. You
But
have,
we're
I'm-
back
I'm-
on anyway.
Oh.
Housewives super fan. I have watched forever. I'm so glad Keenan's catching up. I walked away from this season of Salt Lake City not liking any of the housewives necessarily. They're all in a very big uproar of chaos, and then Jen Shaw just went to prison. Like
Right.
she just started her
Right.
federal time.
Right.
So it's like I'm in. You know, they didn't really talk about
hard.
Mary
It's hard
being
for
off
me
the show.
watching. Oh, because we were watching season 2.
Yeah.
It's hard for me watching knowing that she just reported to prison a couple weeks ago,
Oh,
like
this
8
one's,
days ago.
This latest season is horrible because she's still talking about how she's innocent, and I'm sorry, she's not innocent. The like,
Well,
the
and they've been,
feds
the
have
other girls.
98%
The other girls have
rate?
been saying that since day one. It's that
Oh,
the
yeah.
FBI would not fucking come get you
No,
if
they're not
there
gonna waste
wasn't
their
some
time.
actionable shit.
Yeah,
And the
98%
FBI
persecution rate,
would
I believe.
fucking love to turn the other cheek on some shit if it was I mean, it really has to be predatory and negative in such a way that you either upset somebody that's connected to the FBI or you upset somebody that it's going to come to light so publicly that they have to do something to hold you accountable. They're not
Right.
targeting you. You're not JFK.
Well, she's not the first housewife to go to prison. Teresa
That's also,
Giudice
I
did.
said that to Keaton. I said, I mean, you would think they all would have learned.
And then on Potomac
If you
right
are
now, one of the
doing
husbands
something
is being
illegal,
sued.
maybe
Yeah.
don't sign up to do a TV
reality
show.
TV show. That's so crazy.
It's
where you
exactly
air
what
all your
happened to
dirty
Andrew
laundry.
Tate. It's like, wait a minute.
That's why Beverly Hills is so boring and frustrating at times because they're all so that elitist rich. Like, you don't talk about our problems in
Yeah.
public. Like, so it's all this fake made up drama. And it's like, no, just be real. Like, I want to know why the Hilton sisters hate each other. I want to know why Kathy Hilton has so much pull over Kyle. And like, yeah, there's stuff on Reddit. I read all of it. I'm a literal Housewives stan. Fun fact, Meghan King, formerly Edmonds, formerly Biden, lives in Kirkwood 2 blocks away from my brother.
What?
Yeah.
A Biden
Yeah.
in Kirkwood?
Yeah.
What?
I'm saying. When she's here. I don't know if she's here. I try to follow her on social media just because she's like from St. Louis. She's just a lot. And Jim Edmonds is a messy bitch, and he's a terrible human being. I mean, he's on his like 7th marriage, I think.
Who?
Like Jim Edmonds, former Cardinals player. He's
Oh,
now an
fuck.
announcer,
Yeah,
Fox
Edmonds.
Sports Midwest.
Yeah,
with the
I'm
teeth.
hip. I didn't know that. I didn't know he was married to a Biden.
Allegedly on the down low.
He's DL
Allegedly.
with a Biden?
No. She was a Biden after she was his wife. So they got divorced, and then she married Joe Biden's second nephew, or I don't know, something like that.
Jesus.
And
Did you see
then
Hunter
they got
Biden?
divorced like 2 weeks later, or like annulled or something, like in a crazy short amount of time.
That happens with those gay celebrities a lot. That's what happened with Kenny Chesney and
Yeah.
Renee Zellweger.
Well, I wonder, you know, and my heart goes out to Megan. They have a special needs child, and he's a terrible father. Like, if they were building a house together and they got a divorce, and he forced her to leave the house because he was going to either keep it or sell it. I don't remember, but he was kicking her out and his children. And when he was doing a walkthrough after she moved out, he was talking about how disgusting the prior tenants had been. And it's like, that's your wife and fucking youngest kids, bro. Like, what is wrong with you?
People are crazy.
He's such a douche.
So, okay, so good. So, we're caught up on the Housewives. No, but I think Salt Lake is the perfect thing to interject from that franchise in this time of we just finished Sister Wives, and the Sister
yeah.
Wives drama was heating up, and then now we have
Oh!
now
I
we
just
have
sent this to the
Real
group chat.
Housewives that. Can you imagine if we had fucking 1% Sister Wives and we had rich Sister Wives?
Oh my god.
Can we do a season of Real Housewives where they're all sister wives?
Okay,
Can we
so
do
we're all like Me and Ellie and Keenan all are talking about Mormonism right now because we all did the sister wives.
Are you guys
thing, so that's why
converting?
we were all watching. God, yeah, we're all gonna be your sister wives.
Oh, no.
You're gonna hate
No,
your
no.
life.
That's how that would work. That's how that would work. Is there somebody we could all marry that none of us would have to sleep with because he won't ask?
So anyway, and then the latest season of Housewives of Utah, Salt Lake City, whatever, just finished. So a while back, before Ellie and Keenan were into the getting into Mormonism and stuff and learning about it because it's wild.
Learning about it, not
Yeah.
getting into it.
No, they're gonna convert. No, I'm kidding.
Can we talk about Joseph Smith?
There was a huge uproar on Mormon TikTok because there were like these like Mormon moms who pretended to be perfect and like all BFFs, and it ended up that they were all the couples were soft swinging, but then like two of the people from two of the couples were actually cheating on their spouses like outside of the rules of the whatever with the swinging. And then that went crazy.
And the whatever with the swinging.
and one of the moms,
Meringue.
shut up. One of the moms just got arrested on suspicion of domestic violence today.
Against who?
I'm going to say her own child.
Fuck.
That
Which
sounds-
family was this?
That's one of the. It was the Mormon TikTok swinging family.
Right.
Cody Brown only has one wife.
And that was not the deal. She did not sign up for that.
Okay, yes, she did though, because again, we've talked about this off the show. But Robin did not grow up in polygamy. Her mother was the mistress.
That's right.
And that's why they would like never. They didn't all grow up together. So like she's
She's
just
acting like
repeating
it's
a cycle.
polygamy, but it's
She's
really
repeating a cycle.
But that's
what
how
she's
those.
doing.
You know what though? That fucking show that we were watching. Is it Escaping?
Oh yeah, escaping polygamy.
Escaping Polygamy 1 is so good.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily have to do all the talking like they do, but they
No.
have to fill the time. I get it. But just the actual stuff that they're doing is so compelling. Emancipating these usually young women from polygamous families, but the insight into how those families actually live
Yeah.
is that like the dad's never around.
Well,
and they
there's
eat
just so
like
much
they eat like
secrecy.
old food. Like the whole house smells like old food.
Well, I mean, they have stockpiled food, right? Because they believe in an apocalyptic situation, and
no,
that
but
they will
also
survive.
like they don't have any money, so they
That's
get,
true, yeah.
they-
But they're
they
also
get-
they're buying in bulk, so you know
Right.
sometimes stuff in bulk goes bad. I mean, yes, there are impoverished families eating trash. Yes, there are dumpster diving families who only get their food from. Yes, there are horrible things in it. But I'm just saying. But they're so secretive in their religion and their religious temple and everything surrounding it. It's so bizarre. It's so weird. We've talked about this, that they don't believe that pretty much anybody other than white people are going to get in the true kingdom of heaven. They
Right.
can get in the outer lying areas
Right.
of heaven, even if they convert to
Right.
Mormonism, but they won't be able to fully
Well,
rest in the temple.
and that always confused me about these different groups too, because the Jehovah's Witnesses used to come by my mom's house all the time when we lived in Garkwood.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I would always talk to them because
I couldn't remember if it was them or Mormons that came by, but they were in the
usually
black,
Jehovah's Witnesses over there.
the black pants with the black tie and the t-shirt.
Yeah, but they would
yeah.
send this beautiful girl over. She was like, she looked like
Ew, that's creepy
she
because we
looked-
always had boys. Ew.
she looked like my wife, kind of like and she kind of had like that kind of aesthetic. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Kind of like the type and
Soft goth.
soft goth, exactly. But she was a Jehovah's Witness all of a sudden, which I loved, and so I would always talk to them, and I'll pray with them, and I'll be like, "Yeah, read me the Bible. Let's get in there. Let's get into it." But because my thing is, I think 100 years ago I would have been a priest. If you look at my family history, we were
priest?
deeply involved in like organized Catholicism for like the last 100-something years, right?
Yeah.
And
I didn't know that about your family, but okay.
yeah, I mean that's my mom's family, especially. They all went to Catholic school. We were the
Yeah.
first generation of
My
kids to go
family's
to.
super Catholic, other than like my immediate
Well, and so
family.
if you look at like, especially look at all my eccentricities and whatnot, the only thing I would have really had a clear path towards would have been the clergy,
yeah.
because I got gotten
Would
the
you have been celibate though? For the Lord?
I probably. I mean, let's assume that I
Did
ever
you
had
watch Evil?
no.
Okay.
I think that's a bigger deal than people think it is.
You guys need to watch Evil. It's on Paramount Plus.
Because
Keenan would like it.
I would get to perform every week,
Well,
and I would have, people would come
aren't
to me
you
with
working at a church right now?
it's not a church. It's a humanist congregation. So I applied to a job to be a production manager for a one of those big mega churches, though, because I could make all their video content and stuff, and that would be sweet.
Do you have a ghost in your basement?
No, I got 2 big cats. Why?
I'm just asking.
Why? What's down here?
I thought I saw a ghost in your monitor.
No,
Okay.
impossible.
I'll ask Keenan. I don't spend that much time down here. I don't know.
But the Jehovah's Witnesses, my thing is, why are you recruiting? Because aren't only 7 of you ever going to get in heaven anyway? Don't they think it's only 250,000 people?
Because
get
the
into
more
heaven?
people they recruit, the more money they can get. I mean, the Mormon church is being sued right now because somebody uncovered millions of dollars in proxy companies that the church has been hoarding. It's like the Catholic church.
yeah, that really.
Bankrupt Vatican City. Honest to God.
Yeah, they got loot. We've talked about that on this show before. Barry King said the Vatican is just a pile of loot from
It is.
the
It is.
empire.
And there's a whole secret underground library in the Vatican that not that many people are allowed to go in. So what parts of our history are we missing? What parts of the Bible are we missing? Please.
the part where Jesus was black.
Right. Well, brown.
Right.
Muslim.
Well, I mean, that's not a skin color.
No.
That was weird.
How's that weird? You're gonna tell me that traditional Jesus didn't look like a Muslim man? A stereotypical Muslim man in our
a Middle
viewpoint?
Eastern gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Most of the Middle East is Muslim.
right? But I just don't.
I've
he was
dated
a
white
Jew.
Muslims. I know.
Yeah,
I
I
was
love
engaged to
you know
one.
what? I love a
An
white
ethnic
Muslim.
white dude.
When you can get a white Muslim, that is the most confusing thing to me.
I love ethnic white dudes.
Sure. Oh yeah,
I had the whole Bosnian phase.
yeah.
It didn't really go away, I'll be honest.
No, and I get it. I love my favorite thing in the world is the World Cup
yeah.
because
they're
that's
too
my
skinny.
whatever demographic that is. That's my thing.
They're too skinny.
No,
Maybe
I like
rugby.
them. I like them. I like them athletic, but not beefy. Not NFL. I like a lean athlete.
No, I like NFL.
Yeah, you do like NFL. You
I
them,
like 'em big.
You like them with a face tat and like a horseshoe in their nostril.
Yeah. Yep.
Well,
They all look like they have bad credit, and most of them do.
I wouldn't even consider most of them to be in the banking system. The ones I've met, I'd be surprised.
That's not just dudes well, that just makes me sound worse.
I'm just thinking that the ones
out
I
to
can think of,
Billy
I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't even
Moonbeam.
consider they would have a checking account. They have like a wallet, and then they have like a sock full of $500 in singles for emergencies.
That's a little low. Not in a sock, rubber bands.
They band it up, and then I just worry about that. I don't trust myself. How often I lose my keys, and I mean, you should see me looking for my vape this morning.
Yeah, no, I know.
Can you imagine if I had just bands?
I was just talking about this with the client because one of my buddies from back in the day hit me up on Instagram. And I was like, hey, man, what's up? It's been so long. We haven't talked since COVID, maybe pre-COVID,
Yeah.
honestly. God, maybe before that. He had just moved to Vegas. Anyway. I was like, hey, man, how are you? I haven't talked to you in forever. What's going on? And he was like, oh, not much. Still locked up.
Oh
Got a
my
divorce.
God.
And I was like, what? And I was like, how long have you been down for? And he was like, going on 3 years, but I have an appeal coming up. And I was like, what happened? Why are you divorced? You were married a stripper. That was your end goal, was marrying a stripper, and you did it. And he was like, we just didn't make it through all this. I'm like, well, that's understandable.
Because he
And I was
killed
like-
her.
But then I was like, okay, well, where are you at? And he told me, and I was like, all right, right on. And he was like, yeah, it's pretty chill. I mean, there are a lot of phones here. I was like, yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
You're hitting me up.
Because that's what happened. Here's how I picture it in my head: is the phone rings. Oh, hey girl, what's up? Hey, where you at? Oh, I'm still in jail. Like he picked up the phone
it
in
was
jail.
Instagram. It wasn't even texting. I was like, what is going on?
No, but in my head, you called him on his cell phone and he just picked
I
it up.
wish. I thought about it, being like, hey, hit me up, sending my number, but
Right.
I'm okay.
Speaking of numbers,
Ending karmic cycles.
you could text us live at 314-626-4208 anytime. And we kind of covered most recently a lot of the geopolitical stuff I've been kind of obsessed with. So today I really wanted to spend a beat here on kind of what we've been talking about. More of the spiritual self-care aspect of the show and the focus. That was originally the mission statement of the show, was
can I be
lifting
like
up
the
positive
spiritual
affirmations.
advisor? I'll totally take it seriously.
That's your official title.
Oh my God,
You're,
yes.
You're also the family hairstylist. You do
Yes.
everyone's hair, my whole
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. At sheer.hair on Instagram, SCHEER.
And I
hair.
really do think you're a good follow for the hair stuff on the Instagram. You're not the only hair person in my game. I was in the
I'm
business
trying to get better.
for 5 long years.
You were. I'm trying to get better about it. That was one of my goals for this year, and not necessarily like mass posting, but at least just trying to be a little bit more consistent.
And was that your audition video that I shot for you?
Yeah, it was
That-
when I was auditioning to be an educator for Pulp Riot.
And you're still doing that?
Yes, sir.
Well, see, this is great. You belong here. We
do.
should have a standing, because I'm trying to do these every week.
I actually have a digital class coming up on March 13th, I believe.
Oh,
It's on a
plug it up
Monday.
at sheer.hair on Instagram, official Pulp Riot educator. And I love just the crazy color stuff they have you try.
Oh, I have a really cool creation. We just launched a new collection of our like vivid colors called the Wild Ride, and it looks like Lisa Frank colors. It's
Oh
so
my
awesome.
God.
It's very
I
like
love
late
Lisa Frank.
80s, 90s vibe, neon colors, but like diluted neon almost. Anyway, and we have a contest coming up, and my friend Jess tentatively said she would be my model, and it's going to be really, really, really dope.
I'm really excited about
I
that.
drew it up. I showed you last time I was here.
Yeah, part of my whole thing, one part of my pie chart of the things that I'm into and that I follow online and whatnot is hair and makeup, of course, because of the my mom was in that business when I was a kid, and then I worked adjacent to it for a minute, and it's just so satisfying just seeing great hair projects come together. And you know what is a really great thing that I don't think people know about enough, and maybe they do. I don't have a regular standing appointment with my hair professional. You know what I mean? I typically get about one hair appointment a year, and it's usually right about this time before hiring season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, because I do your hair.
Right, exactly. I'm telling the audience.
Oh.
But normal people, especially professionals especially professional women that really have to, especially older professional women that grew up like in the stigma and the whole double standard thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Those women so love and cherish that time and that routine for themselves, and then with their typically they always have a go-to stylist.
Yeah,
so
for
you
sure.
have this demographic, I'm sure.
I have clients who I have seen since almost the beginning of my career. I actually just had one move away, who's a very, very dear client of mine that started seeing me when I was at Regis, which was my second job out of hair school, but I was only at the first one for like 6 months because it was pretty bogus. And so, I'm going on my 10th year behind the chair right now. No, I'm on my 10th year. I'm going into my 11th year in November. And so 8 of that.
But some women that were our clients, we had some men like this too who come even more often, but they're there every 6 to 8 weeks.
Yep.
You know what I mean? For 2 hours. And
No, I have a lot of very dear clients who I had one who was going through a divorce, and she was like, I literally only talk to you and my therapist about this, because I actually used to do her sister's hair too. So it was like, and there is, and I do families. I have multiple families. In fact, I had one family, it's a husband and wife and 2 kids, and they all came in together the other night. And when they were trying to rebook, the husband was like, yeah, we can do this all together. And I was like, I'll ask her if she wants you guys here interrupting her time,
well, right. Oh my God.
And
We should just always do this all together. It's like, you will not take this from me.
your in-laws all within the same week of each other normally.
But not at the same time.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. I might have had John and Doreen on the same day, but
Oh,
at
I'm
the
sure they
same
both
time.
love that.
I don't remember.
And you had little Sammy in the other day.
Sam,
That's
he's an
my
adult.
That's my baby
We're not
boy.
calling him little.
That's
He's
my
an adult.
baby.
We're
He's
treating him
my
with respect.
baby.
Ugh.
He's 21 now. I mean,
He's an adult man.
I can't wait. We're doing.
I have his back.
Did
I'm
you
the
see?
baby too.
He and I are going to Europe.
You're not going to Europe.
I'm-
I know
I'm-
he's going to Europe.
I'm chaperoning. That was
Oh.
I told Doug I was chaperone.
Yeah, right. Do you remember how you were talking about how it was Donnie Wahlberg that did prison time?
Oh, you totally set
and
me
I
straight on
corrected
this.
you on that.
A couple weeks ago, we talked. I was like, didn't
Yeah.
Donnie Wahlberg go to jail? And it was actually fucking Mark fucking Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg went to jail for
Spent
being
time in
racist
jail.
as fuck.
And he beat that guy blind.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and then started a rap career. So just, it's cool. But he's Catholic now, so I think that's
He's
his
so
tenet.
Catholic.
But really, I mean, you asked me, like, why would he have that in his Wikipedia still? And it's like, I think, honestly, as a Catholic and as somebody who owns their past and tries to move forward, doesn't excuse his behavior in the past. It doesn't make it okay. But again, all that radical acceptance, you have to accept the bad shit that you've done. I've done some bad shit in my life.
I don't
and I
know.
accept that.
If
But
I
I
was
also
him,
try
I'd
to
have
move
that scrubbed
forward.
from my Wikipedia.
But I'm just saying, I think that's his
I mean, I
penance,
guess it's public record. I guess you can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's. I think did we read it on the show?
No.
Do you got it, or you need me to pull it up?
I can pull it up.
Just because I'd have to move. This is what Clay does on
we
the
have
show.
we FaceTime. We don't text.
You and me? No, you but you texted me. Oh, you know what?
I'm saying it's easier for me to find it with you because we don't text. We FaceTime each other. Oh, I'm glad I put in the go down to legal issues.
Yeah, because that's where I found. That's what I'm picturing. It's not very long, but it is detailed, and the details are
In
shocking.
June 1986, a 15-year-old Wahlberg and 3 friends chased after 3 black children while yelling, "Kill the N-word, kill the N-word," and throwing rocks at them. The next day, Wahlberg and the others followed a group of mostly black 4th graders, including one of the victims from the
4th
previous
graders.
day, taking a field trip on a beach, yelled racial epithets, threw rocks at them, and summoned other white males who joined in the harassment. In August 1986, class action was filed against Wahlberg for violating the civil rights of his victims, and the case was settled the next month. Wahlberg perpetrated another racist assault in April 1988. Then 16, he assaulted a middle-aged Vietnamese American man on the street, calling him a Vietnam fucking shit, and knocked him unconscious with a large wooden
That's not
stick.
even a slur.
No. Later the same day, Wahlberg attacked Johnny Trin. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
Another Vietnamese American, punching him in the eye. When Wahlberg was arrested and returned to the scene of the first assault, he told police officers, "I'll tell you now, that's the motherfucker whose head I split open." Later, Wahlberg would explain that he was on PCP at the time.
What?
Investigators also noted that Wahlberg made numerous unsolicited racial statements about, I'm not saying that, but they were geared towards Asians. Wahlberg was charged with attempted murder, pleaded guilty to felony assault, and was sentenced to 2 years in jail. That's not bad. 2 years in jail, but served only 45 days of his sentence, which makes sense. Because he probably
Why?
didn't bail out. Do you know about prison math?
No.
We'll come back to that.
Oh,
Wahlberg
because he didn't
believed-
bail out ahead of time?
Yeah.
So he had time served ahead of time?
Yeah.
Because he was incarcerated up
And
until
then
the sentencing?
probably got let out on good behavior. He was probably a first-time offender being charged with anything. So,
Mm-hmm. And there's another factor.
right. In Boston,
In Boston? Massachusetts?
Wahlberg believed that he had left the second victim permanently blind in one eye, although Trin later said that he had lost his eye during the Vietnam War while serving in the South Vietnamese Army, which fought alongside American forces. So, wow, dick move. To a veteran? In August 1992, Wahlberg fractured the jaw of his neighbor, Robert Crehan, in an attack. Court documents state that in 1992, Wahlberg, without provocation or cause, viciously and repeatedly kicked Crehan in the face, while another man, Derek McCall, held the victim on the ground. Wahlberg's attorney claimed that Wahlberg and McCall, who is black, were provoked after McCall was called a racial slur by Crehan. Sounds about right. The lawsuit was settled between the two parties, avoiding a criminal trial. In
I just like that
2006
Mark Wahlberg's going to kick a guy in the face for using a word that he just used in an unprovoked assault 5 years previous.
In 2006, Wahlberg said the right thing for him to do would be to meet with Trin and make amends, though he had not done so. In 2016, while requesting a pardon for his conviction for the assault on Trin, fuck you, Mark Wahlberg, that's gross, Wahlberg said he had met with Trin and apologized for those horrific acts. Trin released a public statement forgiving Wahlberg. Good for him.
Wait, but who was president when he asked?
2016?
What time of year did he ask for the pardon?
2016? 2016, Jake. Do you have to say it?
But was it before or after the election?
It doesn't matter because that poison started 2 years before the 2016 election.
What?
What do you mean, what?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
2016. Oh, but he wouldn't have been inaugurated until 2017?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that, like, the poison of that campaign started when the campaign started, not when he was elected.
Oh, right. No, but I mean, but who was going to pardon Marky Mark for the racist beating?
He applied for. Oh, that was the next section. If you just let me keep reading.
Oh, I didn't know. I was noticing something interesting. I'm trying to participate. We're literally reading a Wikipedia out loud right now.
I'm so sorry. I do this for fun all the time.
I love it. I love it. I was
He applied
interested.
for a pardon from the state of Massachusetts.
Oh,
his
the state.
convictions.
My bad.
Yeah. I don't know. Is Massachusetts a red state? I would think not. Maybe?
They'd like to be.
Ugh, I don't know. Oh. A racist will always be a racist. I don't agree with that.
I do.
I don't.
Well, it depends on how
Biden's
ingrained it
pretty
is, because
racist.
I think a lot of the racism that's really a problem is totally unintentional and subconscious.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of
The
people don't
sickness is
realize
deep.
that, like, to exist as a white person is pretty, like, you're inherently racist. Like, it's not really that bold of a statement. There are things that I had no idea were racist
Right, that's what I mean.
growing up that now that I've, like, shut up and, like, taken a step back and, like,
That's the thing that's
recognize my
hard.
privilege and, like, actually listen to people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wow, I
Yeah.
was a piece of shit.
That's what it takes, and it's really hard for a lot of people
Yeah.
because they
A
don't
lot of
even
people don't know how to just shut the fuck up and listen.
just listen and just listen
And
because
believe
they're always
people
responding
for their lived-in experience, right?
Because what happens is when you start to open up what seems like a safe, productive conversation between people of different races, is it feels like we're going to be in a space where we're just listening and we're hearing the
Well, it's
different
because we, like-
perspectives, but everyone's always jumping the gun to be like, well, I just feel like
Right.
people worry too much about. I'm like, whoa. You're not listening.
Right.
You're trying to use this as an opportunity to try to correct some issue that you've identified separately, but it doesn't even have to do with what we're talking about. Listen to these people and listen to how they've been hurt and how they've been marginalized, and just think about from their perspective how that would feel. And then it doesn't really matter what you feel about, like, all the big arguments about all this people or all that people.
Well, nobody. Okay, I shouldn't say nobody. Generally speaking, decent human beings, not good, not bad, decent, they're not intentionally trying to be racist, right? Their racism is coming from a place of ignorance compared to a
Which is also not
choice.
malicious.
Right, exactly. But so initially, if someone says, hey, you're being racist, like, you want to be like, no, I'm not. And you automatically go into defense mode. And I have caught myself doing that and just in general, people criticizing me. I immediately get defensive. And then I'm like, okay, hold on. Like, wait a second. If somebody is saying I'm doing something, it doesn't matter what my intent is. It matters how it affected them. And if they're hurt by it, then I want to know why it hurt. And I want to know how I can change that behavior so that I
Yeah.
no longer hurt that person. Or in general, people's, right? Like, I just want to be respectful of other human beings. Like,
Well-
we talked about, should polygamy be legal? And it's like, well, I don't really want to judge somebody, but there are a lot of legal niches that would have to be thought about in order for that to be done
Well,
in a way that doesn't.
Because for
support
me,
an
that would
abusive
include, we would have to legalize multiple legal marriages, because those women deserve to be
Right.
defended as a legal spouse.
Yes.
In the case of
But how do
custody
you do
or
that?
finances when things go awry.
How do you prove that you're living a polygamous lifestyle? And that, like, would you have to get signatures from the other wives in order to have it be a legal marriage?
I don't
Because
think
what
it
if
would be a
somebody's
problem.
just cheating?
I don't think it would be a problem to add lines for names to a
Yeah.
marriage license.
I think that would be smart. I think if you have to do that,
I-
you have to legalize
I-
prostitution. But
What?
if you're going to legalize polygamy, how would you not legalize prostitution, where women have more control over their bodies and situation?
Oh, I just don't think they're equated. I
Well,
mean,
I think the nuances and the need for protection for.
But you mean like in
those
a just
people.
world, if we're going to move to the place where we're going to
Yeah.
legalize and regulate polygamy,
Yeah.
then we should legalize and regulate
Yes.
prostitution. And I do believe that legalizing and regulating prostitution would actually probably prevent a lot of the trafficking that people act like they're so worried about when you talk about legalizing it. I mean, I think when it's completely illegal.
Trafficking's happening anyway, and it's not happening to blonde soccer moms in downtown Kirkwood. I'm just saying.
Right. It's mostly happening to minors.
Yeah.
I mean,
And,
there's
like,
plenty of adult women
black and brown
being-
children and
yeah.
indigenous children.
Yeah.
Did you know that the highest percentage
Yes.
of kidnappings happen to Native women during Sturgis?
The bike festival?
Yep. That is when the most amount of missing indigenous women happen.
Oh, that's insane. That's so dark to think about.
Well, you're welcome. Welcome to my fucking world.
Motorcyclists.
These are the things that I know.
Where's Sturgis again?
One of the Dakotas, I think.
Because you have, and so there's
I haven't been.
native,
Don't fucking
there's
say
native
that.
populations there,
Yeah.
and then there's bikers coming through town from all over,
Also,
and then you
helmet
smash
laws
your girls up.
are heavily dictated by major pathways to Sturgis from different states. Like Missouri, there's not a helmet law. You don't have to wear your helmet because we're a huge pathway up to Sturgis. Fun facts.
I thought you had to wear your helmet for a long time, and that just got repealed a couple years ago.
Uh-uh.
So, how many women go missing?
I don't know. That's a stat I learned a long time ago. You could Google it.
That's
I'm not going
insane.
to Google it. I don't wanna, we're going to go. Then we're going to go down a rabbit hole, and I'm going to get mad.
Well,
I know we're in a dark place. It doesn't need to get dark.
no, I mean it's just
I did tell your wife that if she was going to kill herself, she had to wait till I moved out of state.
why?
Because I don't need that trauma right now.
Well, she's
If I'm out of
it's-
state, then it's out of sight, out of mind. And no offense, I care, but I don't. I can't stop her. If
you're
I'm out
gonna
of state.
be really upset
I'll
even if
call
you're out of-
you. Well, yeah, yes, but I wouldn't be here.
That is a weird thing to say.
She thought it was funny. She appreciated it. So did Ellie. You're just not dark enough for us.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be around
I
for
mean,
that
you have
bender I would go
trauma.
on. How crazy would that week be before I drank myself to death?
I would relapse with you.
How many times could
We
I get?
could get
oh
really
my
fucking
God.
weird. We could go back to Pops, and I could have one of the security guards yell my full government
Can we bring my
name.
friend Dave to Club Europe and he can punch the wall?
Why did he punch the wall here?
We got in a fight with people in the street because these guys were mad at him because he had bumped a car when we were trying to parallel park. And
He's
then,
probably drunk.
oh yeah,
In that big ass truck of his.
yeah,
Didn't I have to ask the bartender or the owner for Band-Aids?
yeah.
good
You
thing I
got
knew
you got
people.
like medical equipment, and
There are fights there.
so native
Oh
women
Lord. See?
missing
MMIW.
Sturgis.
Also, can we talk about how Yellowstone isn't actually a TV show about like what people think it's about, and it's really about exposing the injustices to the native people on their own land? But you haven't
Oh, well,
watched it,
yeah.
so you wouldn't know. Somebody you had on in the past few episodes was talking about that, and I was like, that's wrong. That's incorrect. But it's a very good show.
Sturgis hunting season,
Hunting
a hot
season.
spot for
That's-
trafficking of indigenous women.
Yep.
Human trafficking takes place every year at the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Experts say it seems to only be getting worse, and indigenous girls are a common target. Human trafficking is a major component in the missing, murdered indigenous people epidemic. Experts say of girls trafficked in South Dakota, the majority of them are indigenous.
South Dakota.
The issue increases during large events like Sturgis, hunting season, and stock shows.
Mm-hmm.
Stock
Who's probably
shows.
one of
Is
those
that like
stock shows?
livestock?
Cody. Oh, maybe. I thought
What's
it
a
was
s-
like gun shows, but
Oh, it could be a gun
stock
show.
show could be that too. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So people go there to hunt, and they kidnap indigenous women?
Yeah. Probably like that final season of Dexter if you watched it.
I didn't.
Really?
Not yet.
Oh, it's okay. I don't care about teenage love plots. I don't want to see that. I don't care about influencers. I'm tired of influencers on any TV show I'm watching. I watch TV to escape real life. I don't need real life shoved in my face unless it's reality TV.
Yeah.
Do you actually have notes? You said you didn't have any notes.
We've gone through them all by now. My mind is just so blown.
By the statistics about women missing? Yep.
Jeez, I mean, I didn't get any statistics. I just saw that it was a
Well, it was
trend.
like that Kansas City case where that woman ran off when the guy was in line at dropping his son off, and she had been held captive, and the black community was saying forever that they were like, yeah, we've been missing. Like, people have been missing. Like, we've been trying to, I think somebody actually tried to report the rape and they didn't take it seriously.
When was that?
So it's like, I don't know, last year sometime? You're getting,
You need one?
you want me to elaborate? Oh, God. You want me to elaborate on
need a
that?
Diet Coke?
No, I'm good. I have some. I have water.
Oh,
No, that's a real bummer of a topic. You're really taking it down a
you
notch.
brought it up. I'm just I'm mortified. Did I apparently I didn't describe this well enough. The other day, I had an oversized edible product.
Oh, yeah. Your wife told me. Because we were talking about doing mushrooms. I want to do mushrooms.
I love them.
Okay. Because she
think
said I
it's
could probably
really-
get your real answer out of you
Yeah.
more so than she could.
No, I
did
think
you
that's
microdose
really
or did
what,
you actually trip?
No, microdosing. I've never taken a trippable dose.
I want to take a trip, but I
I
gotta
would
be
love
in the
to
right
do that
position
too,
with
but
the
I
right
also don't want to be
person.
somebody's problem for any amount of time.
Well, I want to be with the right person when I do it.
Right. I think people also over romanticize it. I don't
Yeah.
think it's as separate from reality as
No,
people make
I mean,
it
I
sound
definitely
to
know
where
people that
like you,
tripped too
it's not
hard
like
and had ego
it's not
deaths or,
losing some holy form of virginity.
Whitty said he met a deity.
Well, that's good. I bet he did. I bet he did.
Probably did.
I just found it at the time because we were in lockdown and we were mostly spending quarantine at the chalet, and I would take like 1/10 of a gram every other day or something, was what it averaged out to, and it would make the cannabinoids really good, and made music sound excellent. But I also found at that time where I was trying to abstain from alcohol, like I've been doing since March 21st of 2020.
Proud of you.
Thanks. That's coming up on 3 years.
I think I'm almost at 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And when that was new, right? I would start doing the little MD of the psilocybin, and just lovely and informative. I find it to be really good for focusing like what your problems actually are.
Yeah. Shadow work for sure.
Right.
And that's my thing is I want to do it to connect more with my spirituality and things like that.
Yeah. It's good for that.
Yeah, I've heard.
Fuck, that was a long time ago.
Well, I know somebody.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
can
mean,
make
that's
it
always the
happen.
problem, though, because I got to go to a fucking warehouse and meet a guy. You
Well,
know what
don't
I mean?
think-
It's a
I know
fucking...
somebody that I
Well,
mean,
we
I
were
could've
talking
got
about this.
some.
I
If I
would
had known, I
love-
could have got some.
I would love to get into, like, studying this stuff and to work in the therapeutic
Why
environment
don't you go
of
to
this thing.
school for it? Don't
Is
call
that why
yourself
you're
a
here?
shaman. That's gross.
Are you here to tell me to go to school?
No, I'm genuinely asking because
Is that
I know
what
a
this
bunch
is?
of people who one of my homegirls. She works at Suede.
I really
at
feel like
the
I need
Grove
to be like a
location.
counselor of some kind.
Well,
and I
I don't
really
know about
believe in the natural drugs as medicine thing, just because of my experience with, I never thought I was going to quit drinking. I thought I was going to let myself just die
Yeah.
of being drunk every day for 100 years, you know what I mean, or however long it took.
Pickled.
And I really didn't care.
Yeah.
And then we got married, and then we bought this house. And those were like my two main life goals.
Are we just talking about our rock bottom moments? Are you just trying to make this a very heavy but
No,
healing podcast?
no. It's the opposite, really. And then, no, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. And then, in quarantine, it was just like, well, there's nothing about the environment that I'm going to be in that's naturally enhanced by alcohol.
No.
And I really got physically sick after the last time I got drunk.
Yep.
I drank every ounce of alcohol in the house. I was sick for like 5 days.
I bet.
And I was just like, I don't want to do that again. And then between cannabis and then the psilocybs and the and whatnot, I was able to, over the course of several months, kind of work through a place where I didn't black out at all, so I didn't check out of anything. I didn't have any real vacation from my mental health.
Yep. You
You
got
know
to
what I
face
mean?
it head on.
Yeah. But in a way that was like exciting, because it's like, well, I had to fucking live in this body every day.
Yeah,
So if I'm going to stay in it,
for sure.
then I should probably work on the parts of it that are the most distracting. And that combination of psilocybin and cannabis and Diet Coke and rock and roll
Oh my God.
and alone time and Mother Nature and
I never thought. I mean, God, back in the day, like when I worked at Emos, it was like a novelty when I would smoke pot. Like everybody was like,
well, it
fighting
was
over who's gonna
fucking
get me
it was a
stoned. I
fucking
just was
felony
never-
back then.
Well,
George
I was
Bush was in the
never-
White House.
I was
We
never
thought we
a
were going to
weed
prison.
smoker. Like I always was like a drinker, and then it evolved to other things.
I've
and
never really known you to have more than a couple drinks, though.
I was always the most sober out of everybody in the group, but But there were
But
times
that's
when I
not
wasn't
saying
drunk.
much. The bar is kind of
Right? Yeah.
right. I guess.
I mean, there's photos of me dancing on a bar with Ellie.
to be the most sober person working in the pizza kitchen, the bar is not
Right.
that high.
Right. Right.
Yeah, we're not at church.
No, but and so when I started smoking weed, it was because I was coming off my Lexapro, which I love Lexapro. It is my go-to antidepressant when I need to get on them. And
Oh,
but
maybe I
no
should be
matter
on that.
what, I get withdrawals. If I taper off, if I go cold
Yeah.
turkey, I get withdrawals, and so that's when I started smoking pot.
Last
My
time I
boyfriend
ran
at
out
the
of my
time did.
Paxil, I got so sick.
Yeah, and
For like
so
5
I mean, I
days.
didn't realize what was going on, and I was also
Yeah.
taking 350 milligrams of trazodone a night.
Oh, yes.
I was a lot. Anyway.
Yes, this is the best episode of this podcast. This is so good. This is so #relatable is my fucking least favorite word on the planet. I hate when
hashtag blessed.
but I fucking
Cali sober. Hashtag blessed.
yeah, it's the
But
best.
no, weed really
You know
did
what the
change
new
my
thing?
life.
Somebody, Ellen Cook. Shout out to Ellen Cook, my hero, local singer, songwriter, bartender, lady of song. Powerful influence on my life creatively, and she just posted on something the other day. What is a good term instead of California sober? And I said high and dry, baby. Gee. That's a beautiful Radiohead song too.
I don't listen to radio.
You definitely don't listen to Radiohead. You like Little John.
Pitbull.
You like Pitbull.
Mr.
Roomba
305.
C. Roomba.
No, I mean, and I do drink occasionally. Like, I just have to keep it in check because, like, especially right now when I'm very much teetering on the line of okay and not okay, and like I just want chaos because
Because that's
I
what
need
you
to
feel
cause
like you
chaos.
deserve because you're upset.
Well, no,
Yeah.
not that. It's just that when things in my life are calm and peaceful, I get uncomfortable because I didn't have that environment for a very long time. And I just kind of came out of a situation where it was constant chaos, even if I was aware or not aware of it. And so I think that was one of the biggest adjustments after that was just being alone and at peace. Like it was just peace. It was quiet. It was uncomfortably quiet. I'm sure you can relate to that fucking feeling.
Oh yeah.
But like again, that's the kind of shit that forces you, like rejection is protection. And when a fucking door shuts, a window opens, like other opportunities are going to come in. And so what do I need to learn from the lesson that I just had? And how do I take that and move forward in my life and honor the pain and emotion that I'm feeling while also not being sucked into it,
Yeah.
like having it be my whole, like I can still get up and I can come here and I can laugh with you and we can talk shit and all of that. It's not weighing me down so much that I'm oppressed by it.
Yeah.
Because you still have to get up and you still have to, I always say, like, you wake up every day and you choose whether or not you're going to be a piece of shit. So stop choosing to be a piece of shit.
Yeah. And that was a lot easier for me to do when I was drinking because nothing seemed valuable at all. So like, it was easy just to
Yep.
get like I could get blackout drunk by the end of happy hour on Friday.
No, we were in New Orleans together.
Oh my god.
That might have been the drunkest you've ever seen me, other than that night.
I don't
after
remember seeing you.
after the Kirkwood Emos Christmas party where I invited people over and I forgot.
And you went straight to bed. You like went to the. You said everyone's coming over, and you got in the shower.
I didn't remember saying that everybody was coming over.
Which is weird because there was still tequila in the bottle of tequila you had been drinking. Which, if I was as drunk as you were at that point, I would have drank at least
Yeah,
one
but I
whole
wasn't
of
just
those.
drinking tequila. We were drinking beer.
That Emo's fucking Amberbach hangover. I would open that salon at 8 a.m. on Saturdays every week, having just gotten home from drinking Amberbach at Emo's until the wee hours of the morning. There was one day we sat out there drinking until the sun was out.
I did that a lot.
Oh God, it's
We
awful.
would have like employee meetings on a Sunday morning, and we'd close on Saturday night, which back then was like what 12:30. You're done by 1 o'clock, and then you sit out there and you chill and you talk, and then it's like, well, shit, we got to be back here in 5 hours. Let's just fucking stay up, go get breakfast, and come here, and then go home and crash until we have to work tonight. Whoa.
It's nice though.
I mean, I went out Saturday night to a couple of friends in 2 different bands. Which I don't know why, but I keep on meeting people who are in bands of like my friends. Like your homie in one of your bands delivered my Jimmy
I got the
John's.
sticker you got me right here. Swamp Lion.
Swamp Lion.
Hashtag to Swamp Lion.
Yes.
Shout out. I love this sticker. I
Kyle
love this
Deckert
band
on
name.
the drums.
Who?
Kyle Deckert is
Oh,
my
I
homie
know
on the
him.
drums. You don't know Kyle Deckert.
Yes, I do.
What does he look like?
He's probably got tattoos.
You're not wrong. Anyway, and then my
Kyle Deckert.
friend,
We're friends on Facebook.
have you met him through me? My friend Jana's husband.
Yeah, he's married to Jana Sue.
Yeah. Anyway, and
He had a
then so
birthday
it was
recently.
Swamp Lion and Murtaugh, Matty Mo.
Oh, he's got
is
a
the lead
big old
singer.
tattoo.
Yeah, Kyle's covered in tattoos.
He's got a beautiful. Is that a butterfly or a big bird?
I have not.
Oh, it's a fucking eagle on his chest. This guy's the
Scary
real
Kyle.
deal. He's drinking a Miller Lite on the beach.
He's one of the realest dudes I know. Hey, they also both him and Jana not drinking anymore. They're
And
both
he's in a
Cali
band called
sober.
Swamp Lion.
Swamp Lion S Metal. So I was at a metal show at the Sinkhole.
I love it. I love
you
the
been to
Sinkhole.
Sinkhole? I hate
I
it.
play there all the time.
It's so tiny.
You know, we talked about that's the guy we were talking about last time when Clay was on here. I totally think I was trying to like hook up with this guy, and he's the sound guy at the fucking Sinkhole. And I was blackout drunk with Clay on South Grand, and we went back to Clay's
yeah.
apartment on Wyoming. But I got back
the
there.
Sinkhole hasn't been open that long.
What?
How long has the Sinkhole been open?
No, but this wasn't. There was a gap of time between that story and now.
Okay.
And a couple of years, I think, the Sinkhole, but it wasn't open as long as back then. This was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same guy. He's older now. And I said, do you want to go back to my brother's apartment and drink beer and play guitar? And then I fell asleep as soon as we got there. And but I actually I like playing there. But it's a tiny, tiny place
It's
in the
so
neighborhood.
small, and
and
it
the
was
neighborhood
packed.
is
I
weird.
mean, it got pretty packed. There were,
I like to stand out front, out on the other side of the window.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, somebody set off fireworks, like 50 fireworks in the middle of Broadway.
Well,
it was
that's the
for
thing.
sure.
You
I was
could
outside. It was
get-
for sure gunshots or fireworks.
It's kind
only.
of a war zone.
I dipped. But I was saying with like friends and bands of bands, so I like posted that I was at that show, right? They have another one coming up, I believe, next weekend at the Sinkhole too. Trying to
I'm
plug
gonna book
for my
something with
friends.
Swamp Lion.
You should. They also have a couple of shows coming up. They're posting about them. Swamp Lion, Murtaugh, probably both have Facebook pages. I was texting one of my homies that I had invited to the show. I like told him about it, but I wasn't like, I never gave details. And he was like, I said something about being at the Sinkhole and how I didn't really like, it was a very small venue, cash only bar. And he was like, oh my God, I was about to go to that show tonight. And he's like, I have 2 buddies who are in Murtaugh. And I was like, well, who the fuck do you know in that band? Because I know people in that band. And then I posted about it, and Whitty hit me up, and his roommate's in Swamp Lion. And then your bandmate delivered Jimmy John's to my apartment. Was calling me. And I was like, what is happening?
And Whitty was working the door at Bob's when No Antics played there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, it's a small town. I am the membrane holding this community together.
Are you?
If I died right now, this whole
Collectively,
town
you and
would
I
come
know
to
a
a
lot of
screeching
people
halt.
in this town.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Between you and me, we're Kevin Bacon.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
guess this is as good as a spot as any. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you.
We've talked about this before, but when we first met, it was August 25th, 2005.
Yep.
The White Stripes were in town. and I was going to the show that night, and
Yep.
school had just started.
I was wearing a jean skirt, Uggs, and an American Eagle
And your hair
hoodie.
was weird then.
It was bottle blonde. No, I had highlights. I think.
It
Did
was
I have the
highlight. It was dark
bangs?
with the highlights. Yeah.
Yeah, and the red. That's when they launched Cherry Cola from Redken. And the
Yeah, it
shades.
was cherry cola.
Yep, I had those as low lights. Anyway,
And so I shouted down the hallway, "Does anybody have any eyeliner?" And you hooked a girl up.
yeah, I said I only have brown. Is that okay? And you said I don't care. And you said I'm going to the White Stripes concert. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then we were just friends after that.
My Aunt Claire took me to that.
I introduced you to your wife.
And her,
Technically, Keenan and I were friends first in all of our whole friend group
yeah,
because Keenan and I met in 8th grade.
right.
And she moved here from Columbia, Missouri.
Yeah, I was about to say that you said it like the country. Now people are going to be
Trying
like,
to make her
what?
sound more exotic. She's white as white can be.
Wouldn't it be great if she was like Hilaria Baldwin and she just wanted to be Colombian?
Yeah, she does speak Spanish. We met in Spanish class. That's
Do you
probably
know?
why I said it like
and
that.
you know who Keenan loves more than anyone?
Me.
Shakira. Who is from,
Yep, she is Colombian.
I mean,
Yeah.
does it come full circle or what?
You know,
I think
who
we should do
knows?
this more often. We'll talk off mic about a regular recurring thing, how often to do the spiritual advising. I think if we had a monthly horoscope segment, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Well, I mean, I'm down for it.
Because
You
I
know,
had to
am.
start doing these every
I'm trying
week
to
because
get
that's the
more
name of
into
the
my,
show. So
my spiritual gifts and things. So.
a lot of podcasts do like 35 or 40 episodes a year. I would really like to do one episode for every week of this year. So not a big deal.
I have a lot of free time.
I love it. And this would be a good time slot for it because I work late on Mondays like this.
Yeah.
But I don't even know. The live streams, I mean, when you stream this late, I don't even know if it matters.
No.
But, I mean, who knows? It's guerrilla warfare out here, y'all. Guys, that's another episode of Jacob V Weekly. High five. We did it.
Yes.
Follow us wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, Google, whatever. Bing it. Please subscribe, rate, review, do something with it so I can get some fucking metrics up in here. We have an Instagram page for the show at Jacob V Weekly. You can find us on Facebook, Jacob V Music and Podcasts. You can
At Sheer
contact
Hair
the
on
show.
Instagram.
Please, at Sheer Hair on Instagram.
I'm taking new clients.
Please. This is
Hit a
the
girl up.
official
Let's get some
V
baller
Family
hair.
fucking hairstylist.
Color specialist, master.
I'm going to turn your mic off if you interrupt me again.
I'm plugging myself. Fuck you.
At Sheer Hair on Instagram, sheer.hair.
SCHEER.
Yes. Loving it. And really, truly a great Instagram follow and loving it. We plugged the music at the top of the